Challenges of the Sector, Library Privacy and Why It Matters, by Fred J. Corson. Privacy, Why It Matters. Information professionals such as librarians face a wide range of challenges on a daily basis. However, we must understand how to protect the privacy of our patrons. Today we will discuss three main challenges of the sector: digital privacy, physical privacy, and laws and legislation pertaining to privacy within libraries. In order to understand how to protect privacy, we must first know the definition. What is privacy? Privacy is defined by the American Library Association as to read, consider, develop ideas, beliefs free from the observation and unwanted surveillance by the government or other individuals. To clarify this point, Bruce Shiner in The Eternal Value of Privacy states, "For if we are observed in all matters, we are constantly under threat of correction or judgment, we become children that are watchful, because we leave behind patterns that could be brought forth to implicate us by any authority focused upon our private or innocent acts. We then lose our individuality, and because so, we are observable and recordable." To solidify this point, the American Library Association, in Article 7 of the ALA Bill of Rights, states that privacy is that all people, regardless of origin, age, background, view, possess a right to privacy and confidentiality in their library use. Where does the right to privacy originate from? It is not explicitly stated in the Constitution. As such, it is an interpretation of the First, the Third, and the Fourth Amendment under the Bill of Rights. Challenge 1. Digital privacy. Is there a human right to privacy in the digital age? According to the American Civil Liberties Union, the answer is yes. Why? Due to the erosion of privacy in the new digital age, facilitated by new technologies such as the Internet and other electronic forms of communication. This is stated in Article 17 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. What is digital or data privacy? According to NortonLifeLock.com, digital or data privacy is defined as how a piece of information or data should be handled based upon its relative importance. The application of digital data privacy policies in libraries can be seen in the policies adopted by the Concordia Library System in informal recognition of digital data policy rights. Right number 1 is regarding privacy and confidentiality of all matters pertaining to privacy for patrons. Number 2 is that it is designed to safeguard the digital privacy of all library patrons. Number 3, it is to recognize that all digital records of the Concordia Library System are confidential and protected under privacy laws. What is the ethical role of libraries in big data? In the article by Big Brother by Aaron Berman, he states that librarians are one of the most trusted institutions in our country because librarians operate under a code of ethics that are bound to protect each library user's rights and their privacy in the world of big data. And big data is comprised of every type of data. Author Berman goes on to clarify, and according to the American Library Association, that big data analytics is all about gathering as much information as possible in order to predict the future. It is virtually impossible to do anything in the era of digital data without being tracked, labeled, categorized. Therefore, algorithms sort us into consumer categories that is for sale to the highest bidder. How do Americans feel about privacy within libraries? According to author Jenny Miles from the Public Library Association, 91% of all Americans agree that they have lost control of how information is collected and used by companies, and this includes libraries. Challenge number 2 is the physical library aspect. Should your actions within a library be recorded? According to Reolink.com, in the United States, when you enter a public space, the odds are that you are being recorded. On average, an American citizen is caught on tape an average of 75 times a day. In Europe, this can be up to 300. Should this be any different when you enter into a library? Lastly, the legal basis for video surveillance systems. From the Library and Information Science Organization online journal, it states that the legal basis for library and video surveillance systems is based upon the U.S. civil legal system of common law, otherwise known as the Anglo-American system of law, and that the actions of a person in any public or semi-public place, even a library, are not subject to a reasonable expectation of privacy. Challenge number 3. Laws and legislation pertaining to privacy within libraries. U.S. laws and legislation that affect data privacy laws. The American Library Association states that one law above all others affects our privacy rights more than any other. This is the U.S. Patriot Act, which passed on October 21, 2001, post 9/11. The ALA believes that the Patriot Act endangers constitutional rights and privacy rights of library users in two main ways. Number one, the Patriot Act affects how law enforcement may access real-time information of library patrons. Number two, the Patriot Act affects how law enforcement may access the stored communication of library patrons. And lastly, we have to look at the future of data privacy. There are two new laws that were passed in Europe that affect the United States and the consideration of privacy laws. Author George Eberhardt reveals in the article The Future of Data Privacy's two new laws that will help U.S. libraries. The two new provisions are, number one, the General Protective Regulation, and number two, the e-Privacy Directive. These laws will force privacy changes in the following provisions. Number one, increased territorial scope. Number two, explicit consent. Number three, data breach. Number four, right to privacy. Number five, the right to be forgotten. Number six, data portability. Number seven, data privacy by design. And number 8, data protection officers. Thank you.